Righty. Assalamu alaikum. Peace, everybody. It's Coach Nyla, one of the co-founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships, as well as co-author of the book Let's Talk Polygyny Uncensored, or Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of time, of course, before we really get started in this Polytian chat today. Thank you guys for joining me on this Sunday. I don't know if it's morning for you guys or if it's evening for you guys. So definitely put in the chat where you are watching from. Is it daytime? Is it nighttime? Is it afternoon? Whatever. Just put it in chat. Definitely would like to see that. I'm excited. I'm excited. I got some really good news. So I'm going to tell you guys later on in the live stream some really good news. I've been having a number of people ask about the Polyteen chat because I did move it to monthly at the beginning of the year. However, that may change, but like I said, I got some really good news for you guys, so definitely stay tuned. And give you guys a little bit more time. Grab something to write with, write on. We're gonna give some good. I'm gonna give some good information, but we're gonna chat about this stuff too. So, if you did not see the title or what we will be talking about or chatting about, we are going to be chatting about love languages as well as how to pretty much kind of improve your marriage or just really have an amazing, outstanding, a great marriage based on focus, pretty much being intentional with what you are doing in your marriage, how you are living in your marriage. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys some time. And of course, as we do, we are going to, oh, and if you have any questions, and I see you guys in the comments, I'm definitely going to shout you out after our intro, of course. But make sure you share this live stream. So that's why I want to give you guys some time to do that, because sharing is caring. So make sure you do that. Get something to write with, write on. If you have any questions, definitely feel free. Write them down, put them in the chat, because that's what we're going to be doing today. Chatting about love languages and how to improve our marriage, whether it's in monogamy or polygyny, but definitely in polygyny with focus. Right, Assalamu alaikum, peace again. Hope you guys were sharing while that intro was going. So once again, Nyla, Coach Nyla, one of the co-founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships and your host of Polytian Chat. So if you have any questions, definitely feel free. Put them in the comments section and let me know where you guys are watching from. Walaikum assalam, Sister Aisha. Walaikum assalam, Rashada. Alhamdulillah. Richmond, Virginia in the house. Atlantic City, New Jersey, New York, born and raised. Alhamdulillah. It's Saturday there. It is Saturday. I'm so slow, guys. My brain has been crazy. Okay, so I guess that where I'm from the U.S., near Chicago, but the family has been traveling. It's been a lot going on this week, and I swear to goodness, I did say it was Sunday, and it's actually Saturday here too. But it's close to the evening for me. Oh, too funny. The Caribbean. Hey, how's the weather there? Yes. Okay. So yes, get your tea. If you guys have not gotten your tea, definitely get your tea. Um, we've been having some ups and downs with the weather. Well, being under the weather, I'll say the flu or whatever it is going around. It's been up and down. It's been really, really crazy. So, all right, let's get started. So, love languages. You know, I want to get into that because I made a comment to my my family and my children, everything like that, which we say love languages or appreciation languages, and that's one of the things to help improve our marriages, our relationships. Period. You know, whether it's our relationships with our children, our family members, you know, of course, our spouses, is really understanding their love or appreciation language. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar. Let me know in the chat if you're familiar with the five love languages that, oh my gosh, I totally forgot. The guy's name, got a brain fart. If you guys remember, definitely put that in the chat too. I totally got a brain fart of what the person's name is. And it almost came to me. But he talked about five love languages and what they are. And he also has the book on appreciation languages and things like that, love languages for kids, type of things like that as well. So it's not just for adults. We all have our ways of feeling loved and special, appreciated, and things as far as that. So when it comes to, and if you are familiar with it, let me know in the chat what your love language is. So if you are familiar, if you're not, I'm going to tell you. I can remember all five. So there's acts of kindness, there's words of affirmation, there's gifts, there's quality time, and okay, quality time and physical touch. If I didn't say that, those are the five. And I have two that actually tied when I took the quiz, and I think you can kind of take it. I think it's at fivelovelanguages.com if I'm not mistaken, and you'll get the information of the guy because I can't remember his name for nothing in the world right now. Of course, like I said, it's been a crazy day. I thought today was Sunday. So anyway, the thing is that mine tied for words of affirmation and what was it, words of affirmation and acts of kindness. Those are mine, and they actually were the same. It wasn't like, oh, one is higher than it was. They tied, and I said, yeah, I can totally see that. I can totally see that because a couple things. I like. It's not about just getting praise because it's not about that. It's being acknowledged for the things that you do. And I know I work hard in doing the things that I do. and and sometimes I overthink things and I go all out for the most part. So when it's acknowledged, I feel good. I feel like, you know, my work that I did, someone appreciated, someone saw it, you know, it's like that I see you type of thing. And the the great thing about it is that um the great thing about it is that when you know what yours are, then you what how you operate makes sense. So if things trigger you, or things make you feel like all warm and mushy inside and everything like that. Oh, alhamdulillah. Okay, so the guy's name, the author's name is Gary Chapman, is his name. Peace came into my head, and then it totally went somewhere else. So, alhamdulillah. So, she said, my love language is respect and integrity. Yes, we definitely, that's the a big thing. Now, here's the thing too. Coach Nazir actually does a training, and when you said respect and integrity, it made me think about what Coach Nyla trains on, our hierarchy of values. And that is a big deal too. Knowing what those are is important too. I'm gonna get into that a little bit more a little bit later when I talk about being focused or improving our relationships with focus. So definitely a lot of that comes with respect, integrity, trust, those different things. But of course, I kind of got off on a tangent. One of the things is knowing that someone is appreciating the things that I do. That feels good to me. If a person does something nice for me, it doesn't have to be gifts. It doesn't have to be. It could be. That's nice too. But even my children knows, like, if you made me something to eat, if you made you something to eat and you brought me a plate, that's beautiful to me. So let me know if you guys agree with that. And I keep saying acts of kindness, and it's actually acts of service. I keep saying acts of kindness. Well, but acts of service can be kindness too, but it's actually acts of service. So if you made something for yourself and you brought me some, or you were out and about and you were thinking about me, that's important. That feels good to me. It feels like I was, on your mind, or I was thought about. And so those are the two for me. Now, this is the interesting thing. We have to understand that everybody is just because our love language or our love language is a particular thing, that doesn't mean the other person's love language is something else too. And we know that. I know that's like duh. So yeah, that's duh, Coach Nyla. We know that. However, sometimes because we get so caught up in our own, that we forget about our loved ones around us and what theirs look like. And sometimes they may not even say what it is. And just like and somebody in the chat recently just stated that, and a number of people are not, familiar with the concept, of love languages, or even heard of the book or the author or anything like that. So they may not know, but just because they don't know does not mean it does not exist. So you can have one of your loved ones, your spouse or your children or anything, or any one of them, they can say certain things, or you can be mindful and watchful and just attentive to the things that they say and the things that they do. And you will kind of figure out what their love languages are. If you have children who love to hug a lot, or like to kind of rub up on you or lay on you and things like that, physical touch might actually be their love language or their appreciation language. If you have children or your spouse, let's say your spouse, because we're talking about, but just family, period, just letting you guys know that is, it's all around the board. But let's focus on our spouse. So if your spouse is not telling you directly, but if you're noticing that they do certain things to you more often than they wouldn't, like if they touch you a lot, or they like to be hugged, or they like to hug you, that might be their love language. Physical touch may be their love language. If they give you gifts a lot, sometimes people take it somewhere else and say, well, they're feeling guilty for something. They're giving me gifts. It may be just that's their love language. They like to give gifts, and that's how they express their love. But as I stated before, just because this is our love language does not mean that it's the other one's love language. Not saying that they won't appreciate those things, because I would appreciate of course, acts of service is my love language, but I would appreciate quality time. I would appreciate gifts. I'm not going to turn down a gift. I would appreciate the, I said quality time, physical touch. I would appreciate those things. But those aren't the main things, because I can get those, and then I can think about it later, and I'm like, if the other ones are missing, for some reason I'm feeling away, and the reason why I'm feeling away is because I'm missing out on my love language. And sometimes we just have to be aware, because just because the person is not giving it to us does not mean that they love us any less. It's just that sometimes we may have to communicate with what we would like to have. And I know sometimes that's very hard for us as people, to tell a person what we really want, for fear of a number of things. One of the fears can be because it may make us seem like we are ungrateful. And we have to be careful with putting that as hmm, putting that as a punishment on ourselves. Because it's not that we're not grateful. It's just that this right here is the way I actually would like to be, you know, loved or treated or whatever the case may be, right? But I appreciate the other things. But being able to have that conversation, being able to be truthful and honest, those are the things that can help with connection in our marriages. The crazy thing is that I remember hearing that people say they want honesty, but they really don't want honesty, because when a person is honest and it kind of hits them in the feels, they don't enjoy that. They don't, they're like, what? I'd rather not said anything at all, or I'd rather them told me, the beautiful lie instead of the ugly truth type of thing. However, that's how we can gain that focus. Let me know if you get it in the comments. Say I get it. Say I get it. I'm gonna go and see if there's any questions. Another thing, if you have any questions, definitely make sure you are putting question marks above, really, before and after your questions, so I can weed out the questions from the comments, because those are the ones that I would get to first. So I have a question that says, how do we express this love language without seeming controlling or aggressive? Yeah, that's a good question. Communication is an art. Being able to communicate is an art. And, of course, in order to develop proper communication, it does take practice. So one of the things is not assuming the person, or not placing blame, telling them that, not telling them that, like accusing them. That's what I was looking at. The word is accusing. Not looking at them in an accusatory way of that they are not, giving you that love and kindness and support that you are looking for, that you deserve. And being able to say it in a way, or express it in a way that they can understand, and sometimes it's not going to always go off without a hitch. I'll say that. Because one thing I know with me, I don't like hearing that I'm not doing something right. So I would get defensive internally. I've learned, and I'm learning, to not take things so serious or take things so personal. Because if someone is telling you something, we should learn the lesson from it. So being able to just have that conversation, but also create times when you are doing what we call a marriage health check. So now you know that these are times where you can talk about certain things that can help you get better in your marriage. So your husband is telling you things, and then you are telling him things, but you also talking about the things that you enjoy that they've done, things that they're doing that you're grateful for, those type of things like that. But having that marital checkup and sitting with each other and discussing, let's do that, because we want to be intentional with our growth. We want to be intentional with the way our marriage looks. So I got to share some stuff with you guys. I hope that helped. And we're going to get back. I got to share some awesome things with you guys. And we created some videos based on some amazing things that we have going on. And I have to show you something that, as I told you, I'm going to give you a lot of good information throughout this, but I have to show you about being not physically, but that's good too, fiscally fit. So stay tuned.
Attention! Yeah, you scroll mics, just slow down a second. Attention! Yeah, you. Attention! Yeah. Attention! Yeah, you scroll mics, just slow down a second. Let me ask you a question. What does freedom mean to you? Specific.
Okay. Oh, I think maybe I messed up. I am messing around with this here and I may have stopped the video. So give me a second. I'll go back to it later because there's some really good information. I want to give that to you guys. However, I want to go to this question that I saw. But Aisha, let me know if that helped you, what I talked about before I tried to go to the clip that I wanted you to see. I want you guys to see. Okay, so it can't. You just asked. Okay, this is funny. I had to put this up here. Okay, I can't really believe that. For multiple men, you just act so mature, such a respectful woman, no shade. So being a single mother, no shade taken, even though it sounds low-key shade. So, but the thing is that things happen different in life. Life goes on. I didn't go. I didn't go around sleeping around with a bunch of people. So yes, I was a single mother twice around. Why was that? Because I had my oldest child before I came to Islam, and the relationship did not work out. I was actually with his father 3 years before we had him and some time afterwards. And then 6 years later, I met my daughter's father, married him, had her, and divorced. So things happen different in life. I think that it's people can do a lot of judgment just on the pieces of the story that they may see. And I have to put this out here because that's the thing too when it comes to being confident in your relationships and being confident in yourself and things like that. Having children by multiple men does not make you immature, because you can be in marriages that failed or husbands that died, or it's a number of different things. So, and the year span apart is over 6 years for 3 of my children. So yeah, life changes thing. And I had to put that in there just because sometimes people look at us, and I mean, look at other people, look at us as wives in polygyny, look at us as incoming wives in polygyny, look at us as first wives in polygyny, or look at us as single mothers. And I'm saying us as me putting myself as, in the women field, and have these judgments. And that's another thing when it comes to love languages and appreciation languages, and being able to love and appreciate yourself so you can be able to give love and appreciation in your marriage as well. So it's interesting, even though how I had to had to speak on that a little bit more, and it's a little bit off subject, but it's connected. And it takes a lot of that, because I've gotten a lot of judgment just by people not knowing. And I know a number of women and women who I've coached that get a lot of judgment because they just don't know. And it delves into their self-esteem. And then it allows them to be a certain way within their relationships and their marriages. And I'm so happy that I didn't allow that to do that for me. So so let me try to see if I can get that video to play again, because I really want you guys to see it, and I want to talk about it afterwards, because I don't know what happened the first time.
Attention! Yeah, you scroll mics, just slow down a second. Let me ask you a question. What does freedom mean to you? Specifically, financial freedom. What does that look like? Now, I'm Coach Nazir. Many people know that I practice polygamy. That means I'm married to 2 incredible women. We have a total of 10 children together, including 2 bonus children. So, yeah, that's a dozen. Pray for me. Now, I'm not saying any of that to impress upon you, anything about having a big family, but I am sharing with you that we've been having the time of our lives, really traveling the world these last couple of years, being to several different countries, and the ability to world school my children is priceless. Giving them more than where I come from in the Midwest, being born to a Puerto Rican mother and a Black American father when they were both 16 years old. I mean, there was a lot of poverty going on, from eating tortillas and butter or mayonnaise sandwiches. I knew broke really from both ends. So, but I knew something had to be different. And despite not having the ability to go to college or the funds, or even really the desire for that matter, I ended up getting my GED. Not good enough diploma. But thankfully, I came across some mentors and people saw more in me than I did in myself. And they helped me shape my priorities, which are faith, family, and finances. So now I get asked the question, hey, Coach Nazir, is it expensive to practice polygyny? How much money do you need to have? How rich do you have to be? And the short answer is it depends. All right, yes, I have a large family. Yes, we're traveling the world. We're honored to be able to do so. But one of the things I encourage everyone to do is increase your financial IQ. Make sure you're getting money online. It's not geographically restricted. And I'm honored that we did it before COVID, so things didn't get shut down. So this Sunday, I want to share with you some things that I did to increase my financial IQ and provide you with some insight on why you should also choose to get paid online, especially during this recession before things go south really fast. If you're serious about making 2023 that breakout year, then I want to see you there. Click the link below, sign up to join the webinar. It's free, or go to oprfiscallyfit.com. I look forward to seeing you there. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.
All righty. So what do you guys think about that? Isn't that like amazing to actually be fiscally fit? Put it in the comments, fiscally fit. And Coach Nazir is actually doing a webinar this Sunday, tomorrow, on being fiscally fit. So you don't want to miss it. If you guys can get to it, you want to get to it. You don't want to miss it because there's no replay. And I want to talk about that because that's important too when it comes to improving our marriage with focus. Sometimes, a lot of times, because I've seen it and I've heard it, where women say, well, he cannot afford polygyny. So why is he trying to get another wife? Or we are, even when it comes to those in monogamy, it's like, okay, we are struggling, or not even just struggling. It's like, okay, I want to stay at home with my children as, a mom, and I can't because I'm working so hard, or in order for us to keep up this lifestyle that we're living, we need a 2-income home and things as far as that. I remember when my oldest was a baby, I know before he was born, I was like, I want to be able to be home with him. I didn't want to just work and not be away from him. I wanted to be a mom to him. And it was when he was, I think, a toddler, I started my own business. I started my first business in network marketing. And it was a struggle, but I was able to be home with him. It was a struggle at first because I didn't know anything about business at all. I wasn't taught by my mom or anything like that. She was a single parent who was raised by a single parent. So it was those different things. But being able to know that and learn those things and then hone in more things and become a coach later on. And I an author, I've written a number of books and now being part of OPR and coaching on relationships and, having a husband that actually is very, very knowledgeable about business and investing, and that pours into us and pours to our family is an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing to have, because now we can travel around the world. Now we can do these things with our big family. We can do these things and it feels good. And that's the thing, being able to focus, being able to have this focus, because it was it takes work at first. But Coach Nyla is going to get into all that stuff and these different things in the webinar tomorrow. So definitely check it out. I'm excited about it. So, oh, I like this question. Aisha, I like this question. How to approach the fiscally fit conversation before marriage to see if a match for this husband? That's a good question. That's some good questions today. Definitely. See, one of the things I talk about even with women and I kind of coach on is being fiscally fit yourself. And sometimes we look at things in a different way and we say, well, I don't want to be, I'm a wife. I don't want to be the one that's kind of, you know, paying for everything and things like that, because we see it as, our husbands are the maintainers, the providers, the protectors, and these things like that. Just because they are does not mean that we shouldn't be knowledgeable on how to manage money, make money, invest money. We should be able to do that. And if you are fiscally fit and you know these things, you can talk to a potential, letting you know that these are things that that I'm looking for, because I am looking for someone that's compatible with me, that we are going to be a team, and I know that this person can exhibit this leadership. I did a video on, are we choosing losers to be on our winning team? And I've heard a number of women talk about, oh, well, my husband is not this, and they're like dissing their husband. They're like dismissing him as a leader or a breadwinner or a person that can provide. My thing is, we have to look at ourselves as women and as wives or potential wives and say, well, shoot, who did I attract? What is it about me that attract this person? To not only attract this person, but then I made the decision too to say, hey, not only did I attract you, but yes, I'll marry you. And then now I'm upset about that you're not able to produce like I would like for you to produce, but I put myself in this situation. So being able to have that open conversation, you just being open, but being able to know that stuff yourself, that's key. We as women, we want things and we ask these things, but who are we? What do we look like? What are we attracting? What we want? Are we building ourselves up to attract these men that we want to have in our lives, or the man that we want to have in our lives? I hope that helped. It made sense, but definitely be able to have that conversation. That shouldn't be a conversation that shouldn't be had, because you want to make sure you're compatible in those ways, and you want to make sure that you have a husband that you are willing to follow, that you're willing to you're willing to support. You're willing to be that support system. You're willing to submit to. And it doesn't matter if you have all this money or, this knowledge of how to make money or these things like that. And we go into that as well in the femininity part of being fiscally fit as women, because it doesn't look the same for women as it do for men. And it shouldn't, even though it's a narrative being pushed out there that, go chase the bag and do this and, be aggressive and all this other stuff. And then when it comes down to it, those two, that doesn't match well with a masculine man, the one who actually is doing the things to protect, provide, and maintain and things like that. That aggressiveness, that masculine behavior does not. So to be able to still do that and still be knowledgeable and still be feminine and soft, that's what's the word I'm looking for? that's a good recipe for being focused and in a successful marriage, at least as a woman, at least as a wife, and as well as a mother, because our children see what we do, and then they learn from that as well. You know, it's this crazy narrative that's been pushed out there that, you know, that it's like women and men have to be like they're competing against one another. You can't compete against your partner. That does not make for a winning team at all. So definitely that's a great question, and definitely approach, you know, that conversation. But it's being like, okay, this is what I have to offer, and this is what I'm looking for. Because if we know we have these things to offer, and not a lot of this, well, I have this degree and that, you know, seriously, men do not care. Like men who are masculine men, the whole degree, the I got this, you know, this is what I have type of thing. That's not it. But being able to, if a man know that he can have the support, he can bounce ideas off, he can, you know, off his wife, he can trust her with, you know, with you know, keeping his peace and all these other things. And then she still, and she know how to make money, and she know how to be submissive, and she know how, like those are like stacking on stacking on stacking. It's like that's a beautiful thing. And I'm saying this because I've lived that, where I, you know, yes, being a single mother before, it's like certain things that I'm like, okay, I know what I want, so I'm going to do these things because I know that I don't want my children to have to want for anything. I don't want to work extremely hard and they don't see me. I still want to be this you know, this mom to them. I don't want them to, you know, when people say, I've heard this quote, or it was a study. It was a quote or a study. It was one of the two, and they stated that the further away that the woman is or the mom is from the home, the worse the children are. Like the worse the children have it. Because we understand that the fathers go out into the world. We understand that the men go out into the field. This like is natural, is nature. But women are nurturers, and they nurturers, we're nurturers by nature. So if the mom is away and the dad is away, then what do the kids have? What do the children have? So those type of things. And there are ways to make money, make nice amount of money, as well as learn about investments and being fiscally fit while still being that feminine woman, without having to be aggressive, without having to take on masculine energy, and being able to be that nurturer for your children, and having the children see the balance, the proper balance within the home. Um, so I'm doing myself for years. I'm going to put these up here. I have taken care of myself for years. Yes, it's important, but wholeheartedly love to be in the feminine role. Yes, I haven't met a woman yet that has worked hard and been out in the field and done these things after being there for so long, to say, you know what, I really want to embrace my feminine, because I really see that I'm stressed, I'm tired. I was watching a round table. I want to say it was a round table discussion with these men that were talking with my daughters. We were watching this roundtable discussion, and it was a doctor. One of the men who were on the panel was a doctor, and he was talking about the stress that a lot of women go through when they're like, whether they're single women, single mothers, or whatever, that's chasing the bag, that's, you know, trying to climb the corporate ladder, that's doing all these different things, and that's really in these kind of cutthroat positions. He talked about how they develop these fibroids and these different health issues because women aren't naturally built for a lot of that stress and that that masculine energy like that. He said, you take those women out of the environment, out of that environment, you allow them to be at peace, allow them to be their natural nurturing selves, and their fibroids shrink. And he said he could tell, he knows this from experience because, or from, from his practice, from what he does. So I'm not in that mindset to say that there are not women out there when they really take the time, or when they're at the end of the day, when they're at home, when they're finally relaxing, when they're able to reflect, to say, I want to be at peace. I want to be able to have my money make money for me. Or I remember one of our polls, we had a poll that was up recently about finance and being fiscally fit. One of the commenters put something about like what she would do, and she said, or what she would want. And she was like, she want to get married so her husband can take care of the bills and just different things like that. And the interesting thing is, you have some people out there like, oh, well, she's a gold digger and da da da, because of the whole societal warped view that they've put out there in this warped narrative, when they don't understand that naturally women want to be home and be nurturing and be caring for their kids. And of course, like I said, it's not that they don't have to be knowledgeable about investing and making money and things like that. You had Tupperware ladies that did the Tupperware party. You had Mary Kay Cosmetics that did that. These women were hosting parties for in their homes, and they were still making money, driving around in pink Cadillacs and different things like that. So definitely can be done, and it was done back then without sacrificing the femininity. Okay, I want to show you guys one more thing before I get to some more questions, as well as tell you guys the good news that I want to tell you. Thank you guys for sticking on too. I truly appreciate it. I gotta show you a funny ad. If you guys haven't seen it yet, but I gotta show you guys a funny ad that I did for my women, my wives in polygyny. If I can actually find it, because for some reason I thought, oh, okay, here it is. Hear ye, all my fellow wives in polygyny and polygyny wannabes. Come closer, a little bit closer. Okay. Do you really want fulfillment in your marriage? Do you want to stop the feeling of guilt because you married a married man, or because you want to marry a married man? Do you want to stop feeling like you were pushed aside, disrespected, neglected because your husband married another woman? The solution to these feelings and others lie with being intentional and courageous communication, as well as embracing your identity. If you want to find out how to gain success in these areas, check out my gratification through growth, counseling, and coaching at CoachNyla.com. And I'll see you on the other side. I was like in a corny mood that day, guys. So yes, of course, I do offer counseling and coaching, which definitely kind of comes to this this question. Good question. So, I'm considering divorce from a monogamous marriage. Can polygamy be a turn in the right direction? I can't give you that answer because it totally depends on what's going on. And so yeah, and then even the whole concerning divorce is very vague and is very it's very vague. And I would not say that, okay, well, get out of monogamy to get into polygamy or anything like that, or get into polygyny or anything like that. Now I know of, our our polygynous marriage has been, we worked on it, because we definitely think about minding our marriage. It's a lot of different things that go into it, just like it's a lot of different things that go into monogamy. So it's not about the form of marriage, it's about the work that goes into the marriage. And I'm not going to make it seem like, oh my gosh, it's so much daunting work that just goes into being married, because that's not the case. It makes marriage seem just like a chore and boring. The thing is, as I stated earlier before, it's about attracting the right person, choosing the right person, and continuing to be intentional with the growth of your marriage. So maybe divorce is the solution. Maybe divorce is not the solution. But you have to ask yourself these things. And are we working on this? Why are we going through this right now? Because sometimes we make permanent decisions on temporary feelings, and then we regret those decisions later. So it's more of really seeing if this is what it is. And it's not going from one type of marriage to another type of marriage. It's really about seeing who you are and growing as a person, and seeing what is beneficial all around the board. What are you offering, as well as what your husband is offering. I hope that helped. My nose is itchy, guys. I don't know why it's itchy like that. So, inshallah, that helped. And if you needed, more in-depth training or coaching and counseling, definitely check out my page. Check out coachnyla.com and see if that's something for you. And then we can kind of go and work through that. Because I understand being tired. I understand sometimes things can feel a little rough at times, but it could be something different. And oh, okay, wait a minute. Jean, okay, I'm looking at Jean. I don't know if it's Jean or Jean, because it was brought to my attention, could be a man. Are you a man, or, well, I just got to ask, I'm sorry. If you're a man, then you'll have to connect with Coach Nazir. If you're a woman, then, definitely you can connect with me. Because I was looking at Jean and not John, but I'm not totally sure. So sorry about that. And I don't want to confuse anybody, nor myself, because I could be easily confused sometimes. All right, so I got to give you guys these announcements, because we're going to end this shortly. I hope you guys got some really great information from this TN chat, and this is why I'm super excited about this particular TN chat, because what we did, we chat a little bit about focusing on our marriage, as well as the love languages and things like that. However, I'm actually going to extend the TN chat, and it won't technically be the TN chat, but I'm extending it on our OPR campus. And I'm going to see if we have something up for the OPR campus, so you guys can get a little bit of a little feel of what it's about. But I'm going to extend it as a live class. So whatever we discuss on the TN chat, I'm going to be teaching in detail a deep class in in our campus, in our OPR campus. So that same week, pretty much. So right after we talk about the tea and chat, and my tea and chat is usually once a month on Saturdays. I'm actually moving it to do it weekly. So back to weekly like I was doing it before. So I'm excited about that because I've been asked about that. It's like, oh, I miss your tea and chat. And, now you have to wait once a month. Now the tea and chat will be weekly again, but I will follow it up also with an in-depth class in our campus area. So let me check to see if I have something here so you guys can get more information on that campus. I'm really, really excited about doing that and moving that. I just want to check. I thought we had it. I don't see it, but let me give you some information then about the campus. And the campus is oprcampus.com. So you want to join the campus, it's oprcampus.com. I do have an upcoming class this Monday coming up on a marital mindset, maintaining and nurturing magnificent marital mindset. So in order to be part of that class, that live class, which will have worksheets, we will have a live discussion, you will have to go to oprcampus.com and make sure you click RSVP for the meetup. It will say meetup, but it's a live class and you'll be able to see it there. And we have a number of meetups or meet and greets and meetups that's scheduled, and live classes. We do our Q&A. Coach Fatimah and I do our elite student Q&A on every other Wednesday. So it's an amazing, amazing place because we decided to take our continuing education and put it in a space where it's safe, it's troll-free, it's a continuing education space. Not only is it a continuing education space, but you have challenges and different discussion circles, all that other great stuff. So definitely check it out, oprcampus.com. And I'm going to check if there's any more questions before. All right, Jean, thank you for that clarity. So yes, alhamdulillah. So definitely check it out, oprcampus.com. Because I will be doing a class Monday. And then we actually have our elite student Q&A this Wednesday coming up. You can't believe how many women are in a situation where they have found everything that they're looking for in a man. For a man is married already with someone else. Polygyny may solve this little. That's the interesting thing. That was a comment that people made before. They said the good men are. They're like, oh, the good men are like married. They're like taken and things like that. Oh, the good men are married, married or they're taken. And you really do see that. You do see, well, at least you can see when men demonstrate their leadership and their growth and the things that they can offer when they are married. And because we're in a society where this is shunned, it makes it seem like it's so taboo. But polygyny has been around for ages, and those who are Muslim understand that Allah allows it. So it shouldn't be something that's shunned. This big issue about it. And if a man is able to be able to be that protector, provider, maintainer, for his wives, then he should be able to be that maintainer, protector, for his wives. So I do understand that we call polygyny, gosh, what is it? I got a brain fart again. I'm hoping that Coach Nazir, like sometimes he be behind the scenes, he can actually help me with it because my brain went like somewhere else. But it's a solution for a modern day problem. So you have that. You have the single parents. You have, and this is an interesting thing too, because I don't want to put it out there where people have this. It is really crazy to me. I'll probably get some help now. An ancient solution to a modern day problem. Thank you, Coach Nyla. Like I stated, I said he helps me out. So it's an ancient solution to a modern day problem. And the thing is, we do talk about that where it's you have the single mothers or you have the divorcees and those people who decide that they want to be married again and they don't mind being married to a man who's married to who's already married. But then you also have women who say, well, I'm in school right now, or I just really want to be in polygyny because there's other things. I don't have a problem with, seeing my husband, every other day or whatever the case may be, whatever type of program they have going on. And that's nothing to be ashamed about. That's nothing that should be shunned. People have their own reasons. All polygynous marriages aren't cookie cutter. They don't all look the same. And the reasons why people get married to men who are already married or women who they say that stay with men who decide to marry again, they have their reason. They're grown people who made their own decisions that is working for them. So yeah, it's definitely a solution. It's definitely a solution for single parent homes, for kids growing up without fathers, for women who have to leave abusive relationships. It's definitely a solution. And it's also an option for women who just do not want to be in monogamy. So yeah, definitely. Okay, so women may find themselves in a situation where they found everything that they're looking for a man is already married. Yes. Okay. And monogamy is the rule. Yeah, like they could see a certain person and they say, this is the guy. Here's the thing. People ask me about the thing with about my marriage with Coach Nazir. Coach Nazir checked the boxes. He was married, but he wasn't. I joke and I tease and I say, you aren't single, but you're married but available. He has 2 wives. He can have up to 4. So I look at that, people are like, oh, well, why would you marry someone who's married already? For one, that's my business. And because I wanted to, because I had my own ideas of what that marriage will look like. He checked the boxes of what I saw in a leader. Plus, he had a beautiful family that I saw that can totally blend with my babies and with me. So, and there's more stuff, but that's pretty much the long and short of it. So sometimes, just like you said, you can see these things. You're like, this is everything. This person is a leader. This person is wonderful to his family. This person is amazing to his wife. He's great with his kids. You see these things like that. That's the type of person that I want to lead in my family. That's the type of person I want to be married to. Why go out and try to find another person that's single that looks just like that person, possibly, if this person is available to you? Because as I state, and I'll state again, that the man could say no. You can shoot your shot, have your Wali or your Wakil, talk to him and see what the deal is, and he can always say, I'm not interested. But if he says yes, and yes, I'm interested, and we can make this work, then what is it for anybody else to shun your marriage? Something that is halal, permissible for you to do. So hope you guys got some good information. But that's what the good news I wanted to tell you, that Polygyny Chat is going to be weekly again. But in addition to that, we are going to do an in-depth class on what we discussed on the Polygyny Chat. And you'll find out that information, and you'll be able to attend those classes at oprcampus.com. All right? So if there aren't any more.
Polygamy.
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 Polygamy?
Polygamy.
Polygamy?
When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Hello, wives.
Hello, husband.
Isn't it frustrating to see all these relationship and marriage experts not mention polygamy as though it's not an ancient solution to a modern day problem right now? Or how about those that talk against it, yet we don't know their relationship status, or they're involved in all kinds of scandals because they're scandalous?
And another thing that's so frustrating is when they're here today, gone tomorrow, and they don't offer you any tips or best practices for best results.
Or what about the religious leaders? And yes, I am calling them out, the religious leaders who don't talk about polygyny or are afraid to talk about polygyny like it's some taboo type of topic or something. And that's why we created our education campus at oprcampus.com.
Absolutely. We know that we need to make sure we have an area where we can get continuing education on all levels of relationships. So it doesn't matter if you're talking about premarital because you're single, or if you're a monogamy, you really want to build a life of fulfillment and craft it, or you choose to practice polygyny, but you need to actually have a good example so you can do it in a healthy manner.
And what's so awesome about our campus is that we have meet and greets.
And in these meet and greets, you can meet with your fellow students. You can meet with your coaches. We talk about different things with your classes. Yes, we have online live classes and challenges. So when you check that leaderboard, yes, there's a leaderboard in the campus as well. It can give you some fun, friendly competition amongst your students, amongst your peers, I guess I should say.
So with that, we want you to go ahead and make sure you have all the details. So go to oprcampus.com or click the button below to make sure you're fully plugged in, especially if you want to make 2023 your best year yet.
So click that button.
And we'll see you in the campus.
All right, that's the campus. So make sure you guys get registered. Go to oprcampus.com because this Monday I do have the upcoming class that will follow this tea and chat. And don't forget to make sure you go to oprfiscallyfit.com and register for Coach Nazir's Fiscally Fit webinar tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow. oprfiscallyfit.com. Okay, so well, that's about it. That's you guys. Thank you for staying with me. And that's it for the Poly Tea and Chat. I look forward to seeing you in the webinar tomorrow and on campus on Monday. And until next time, make sure you are growing intentionally, loving fearlessly, and connecting on a higher level every single day. All right, Assalamu alaikum. Peace.